One night, Lizzy pleaded with JD, "Please, my dear husband, come to bed with me." But JD laughed and said, "Not tonight, my dear. I am too tired." Lizzy wondered what's going on with her husband. Why doesn't my husband want to be with me? Days.
I see you, my heart they beats. A lady of all men's dreams. You be the one where they make me.
Hello guys. Please get in here. Imagine being pregnant as a married woman and you've never seen your husband nakedness or any other man, and yet you are pregnant. This is story of Lizzy. Meet Lizzy, a woman who is pregnant but has never seen her husband naked or even sleep with him. Before we dive into Lizzy's story, please take a moment and like this video and subscribe to the channel and join the growing community where we get to discuss family issues and life sagas. Now, let's get into it. Lizzy loved her husband JD dearly, but their marriage was very strange. They had separate bedrooms and JD always came up with excuses to avoid sleeping with Lizzy. One night, Lizzy pleaded with JD, "Please, my dear husband, come to bed with me." But JD laughed and said, "Not tonight, my dear. I am too tired." Lizzy wondered what's going on with her husband. Why doesn't my husband want to be with me? Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Lizzy fell sick and was taken to the hospital. Lo and behold, the doctors reported shocking news to her. She was pregnant. How is this even possible? Lizzy asked herself. She confronted JD. "How did I get pregnant if we've never slept together?" JD joked, maybe it was a miracle. But Lizzy was not amused. She needed answers. Lizzy confided in JD's family member. "Auntie Jane, please auntie, help me. I don't understand what's happening in my marriage. You will not believe that since I married my husband, we've never slept together. I have never seen my husband nakedness. And now I am pregnant. I don't even know how that happened." Auntie Jane just smiled and said, "Lizzy, you are just being paranoid. You are pregnant and that's all that matters." Lizzy felt frustrated and alone. She didn't know what to do next. Lizzy decided to investigate further. She searched their home for clues but found nothing. She confronted JD again. "I knew something is wrong. Tell me the truth, my husband." JD laughed. "You are just being paranoid, my dear. You are pregnant and that's all that matters. Maybe the baby is a miracle, like an angel." Lizzy was frustrated. "Stop joking, JD. I need answers." But JD continued, "Maybe I am a superhero and my sperm has superpowers." He laughed. Lizzy confided in her friend Sarah. "Sarah, I don't know what to do. I think something is wrong in my marriage. Honestly, you won't believe I am pregnant, Sarah, but I don't even know what my man's manhood looks like." Sarah listened but didn't believe her fully. "Lizzy, maybe you are just being stressed. Wait until the baby is born, then we can figure things out." Lizzy wasn't convinced, but she waited. After the baby was born, Sarah advised her to secretly run a DNA test. Lizzy agreed, and they took the baby's hair and JD's hair and sent it to a lab. Days passed, and Lizzy waited anxiously for the result. Finally, the day arrived. Lizzy opened the envelope and her eyes widened in shock. Lizzy's heart raced as she read the DNA result. She felt a mix of emotions: relief, happiness, and confusion. She showed the paper to Sarah, her eyes shining with tears. Sarah smiled. "Oh, Lizzy, the baby is JD's. I'm so happy for you." Lizzy nodded, still in shock. "I don't understand. How did this happen? You know, we've never, you know what I'm saying." Sarah patted her hand. "Sometimes Miracle happened. Lizzy, maybe you two were meant to be parents together. Lizzy thought about this. Could it be true? Was their baby a miracle child? Just then, JD walked into the room, a big smile on his face. Hey, my lovely, beautiful wife and the mother of my child, what's going on? Lizzy's eyes locked onto his. JD, we need to talk. JD's smile faltered for a moment, but he recovered quickly. What's up, my dear? You look so serious. Lizzy took a deep breath. The DNA results are back and the baby is yours. How? JD's face lit up with joy. That's amazing. I'm a father. Oh, Lizzy, I am so happy. Lizzy's eyes narrowed. But how, JD? We've never slept together. How did this happen? JD's smile faltered again and he looked away. Oh, well. Lizzy's heart sank. She knew that look. JD was hiding something. JD tried to brush it off. Oh, Lizzy, don't worry about it. Let's just enjoy this beautiful moment. We are a family now. But Lizzy was determined to get to the truth. No, JD, I need to know how this happened. JD sighed. Fine, let's take a break from this conversation. I have a surprise for you. He pulled out a brochure for a luxurious hotel. I booked us a room for a week. We can spend some quality time together, just the three of us. Lizzy was exhausted and the thought of a break sounded tempting. Okay, fine, but this conversation is not over. At the hotel, they spent their days lounging by the pool and taking romantic walks on the beach. JD was charming and attentive, and Lizzy found herself relaxing in his presence. But at night, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. She would catch JD staring at her with an intensity that made her skin crawl. One night, she confronted him again. JD, I know you are hiding something from me. Please, just tell me the truth. JD's smile was tight. Lizzy, you are just being paranoid. Let's enjoy our time here and forget about all this. But Lizzy was determined. She started snooping around, searching for clues, and then she found nothing, no clue that could explain her condition. Months has passed since Lizzy delivered her beautiful baby girl. She still had no clue how she got pregnant with her daughter, and she still didn't know what was going on in her house. A few months later, Lizzy started feeling ill again. She ran another test. Lizzy's eyes widened as she stared at the pregnancy test in disbelief. No, this can't be happening again. She felt like her world was crashing down around her. She was still trying to uncover the truth about her first pregnancy, and now she was faced with another one. She stormed into the bedroom where JD was lounging on the bed. You did this again, didn't you? How could you, JD? How could you? JD's smile was sheepish. Lizzy, my dear, I think you are overreacting. We are having another beautiful baby. Lizzy's anger turned into rage. Beautiful baby? You think this is beautiful? You think manipulating me, lying to me, and getting me pregnant again is beautiful? She realized she had to act fast. She couldn't let JD continue to control her life. She needed a plan, and she needed it now. Lizzy, calm down, my dear, JD said, trying to calm her, but Lizzy was beyond calm. She was a woman on a mission. I need space, JD. I need time to think, and I need it now. She packed a bag and stormed out of the house, leaving JD looking confused and worried. But Lizzy didn't care. She had to get away, and she had to get smart. She drove to Sarah's house, her mind racing with thoughts. She needed a plan, and she needed it fast. She couldn't let JD continue to manipulate her life. Sarah listened as Lizzy poured out her story. Sarah, I need help. I need to uncover the truth about my pregnancies. I need to know what's going on in my own house. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Lizzy, we'll get to the bottom of this. But first, we need to get you safe. You can't go back to that house, not until we've found a plan. Lizzy nodded, determination in her eyes. I am ready, Sarah. I am ready to fight. Lizzy, we need to be smart about this. Have you considered monitoring his movement, seeing if he does anything suspicious? Lizzy's eyes widened. How do I do that? Sarah's voice was calm and reassuring. We can set up a secret camera in your room, something small and discreet. That way, you can keep an eye on him without him knowing. Lizzy's mind raced as she considered the idea. It seems drastic, but she was desperate for answers. Sarah continued, I know a guy who can help us set it up. He's discreet and trustworthy. We can get it done quickly and easily. Lizzy nodded, determination in her eyes. Okay, let's do it. I need to know what's going on. Sarah smiled, a plan already forming in her mind. I will make the call. We'll get this set up and get to the bottom of this mystery. And with that, the plan was put into motion. The camera was set up and Lizzy waited anxiously for the footage to reveal its secrets. Lizzy waited anxiously for days, constantly checking the camera's footage, but there was nothing out of the ordinary. JD seems to be going about his daily routine, smiling and as charming as ever. She started to feel a sense of doubt creeping in. Maybe she was just being paranoid. Maybe JD was telling the truth and she was just misinterpreting things. Maybe she's just mad, or maybe she's delusional. Sarah noticed her friend's uncertainty and reassured her, Lizzy, don't give up yet. We need to keep monitoring the situation. Something will eventually slip up. But as the days turned into weeks, Lizzy's hope started to dwindle. She was beginning to feel like she was living in a never-ending nightmare, constantly on edge, waiting for something to happen. One night, she woke up to a strange noise in the house, her heart racing. She quickly checked the camera footage, but there was nothing unusual. She tried to shake off the feeling of unease, telling herself it was just her imagination playing tricks on her. Several days has passed since the camera was installed and Lizzy's baby was growing. She was starting to feel a sense of normalcy return to her life despite the lingering question about JD's behavior. One day, Sarah slept over at Lizzy's house and they stayed up late chatting and laughing. The next morning, Sarah woke up early, but Lizzy slept in, exhausted from the previous night's conversations. When Lizzy finally woke up, she stretched and yawned, feeling a sense of laziness wash over her. She didn't even bother to check the camera footage, assuming it would be the same old nothingness. But as she was getting dressed, she noticed something odd. The window in the baby's room was open, and she could have sworn she locked it before going to bed. She called out to the help, Hey, did you open the window in the baby's room? The help replied, No, ma'am, I didn't touch the window. Lizzy's curiosity was piqued. She decided to check the camera footage, thinking maybe it would show something unusual, and that was when she saw it. Lizzy's eyes widened in shock. As she stared at the camera footage, she saw JD sneaking into her room, his eyes fixed on her with an uneven intensity. He reached out a hand and gently stroked her hair, his touch sending shivers down her spine. She watched through the camera as her husband, JD, slept with her while she was unconscious. Lizzy couldn't bear to watch anymore. She shut off the camera and sat back in the chair, her mind racing with thoughts. She opened the camera again. Lizzy's heart raced as she watched the footage, her mind reeling with shock and disbelief. She saw JD's gentle touch, his soft whispers, and his loving gaze, but something didn't add up. Why did she feel so uncomfortable, so violated? And then it hit her, the memory of her lost night. her foggy morning, and her unexplained bruises and morning headache. The pieces fell into place, and she realized with a jolt that JD had been secretly drugging her, manipulating her, controlling her, and sleeping with her. Lizzy felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over her. She couldn't believe she had trusted him, loved him, and thought he loved her back. But the evidence was clear. He had been using her, exploiting her vulnerability, and taking advantage of her trust. With a newfound determination, Lizzy decided to take action. She would gather evidence, build a case, and bring JD to justice. She would not be silent, she would not be victimized, and she would not be controlled. Lizzy felt strong and determined. She wanted justice and freedom. She called Sarah and said, "Sarah, I need help. I have proof that JD has been hurting me." Sarah was shocked and angry. "What? That monster? What can I do to help?" Lizzy explained everything. "I need you to help me gather evidence and get to the police." Sarah said, "I'm on my way. We will get through this together." Lizzy felt a wave of relief wash over her. She was no longer alone. She and Sarah worked together, collecting proof and building a case. As they walked, Lizzy felt a sense of empowerment grow inside her. She was taking back control of her life. Finally, the day came when they were ready to go to the police. Lizzy was nervous but determined. She and Sarah walked into the station, holding hands. Lizzy said to the officer, "I want to report a crime. My husband has been hurting me and controlling me." The officer listened and took notes. "We will help you, Lizzy. You are safe now." Lizzy felt a weight lift off her shoulder. She was free at last. Lizzy told the police officer how her husband JD has been doing bad things to her, drug her, and take carnal knowledge of her without her consent. The officer looked surprised. "Oh, JD? He's a very important person in our community." JD arrived at the station and said, "Lizzy, please, come home and let's talk about this." Lizzy went home with him and said, "You hurt me and made me feel crazy." JD said, "I'm sorry, Lizzy. I was ashamed of something and it made me do bad things." Lizzy asked, "What were you ashamed of?" JD said, "Something very personal. You know, it's been established that I have a very little manhood, and girls have left me in the past because of this. And I don't want you to leave me. I love you so much for you to leave me because of the same reason. Please forgive me. Don't leave me like others did." Lizzy was still very angry but wanted to understand. "Show me that which you are ashamed of. I want to see the manhood." JD was hesitant but eventually agreed. Lizzy saw that JD was telling the truth and felt sorry for him, but she was still hurt and needed time to think. JD pleaded, "Please don't leave me, Lizzy." Lizzy gave it a very long thought and realized that she deserved better. She decided to leave JD and focus on her own happiness and the well-being of her kids. With the support of her friends and family, Lizzy started a new life. She found a new home, a new job, and started therapy to heal from her experiences. JD tried to win her back, but Lizzy was firm in her decision. She saw how he had changed and was truly sorry, but she knew she deserved someone who would love and respect her fully. Lizzy's kids thrived in their new home and they were proud of their mom's strength and courage. Lizzy was proud of herself too for taking control of her life and making the best decision for herself and her family. In the end, Lizzy realized that she was stronger than she thought and that she deserved a life filled with love, respect, and happiness. She was grateful for the journey. Lizzy concluded to herself, "My advice to myself and others is to prioritize honesty and communication in relationship. If we had been open and honest, maybe we could have walked through our issues. But now it's time for me to move forward and found a love that truly respects and value me. And now to you, my beautiful viewers. What do you think is the most important factor in a successful relationship? Is it honesty, communication, trust, or something else? I would like to hear from you in the comment section below. Don't forget to share this story to someone who might need it out there. Till I see you again in my next story. Goodbye.